Hey there, folks. I'm Isaac, and I just enrolled in the Yuva Academy.
And I'm Claire, and j'ai attrapé des Pokémon.
And this is Make
Make
That
that
Game!
game! Where we pitch the latest
The greatest
nouveau video game ideas.
that will never be made. I was really hoping that you would say make that game in French, as I said make that game.
Fais cet jeu!
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, hey, Claire, do you have a pitch?
Oh, we're just jumping in.
Let's jump right into
We're
it.
just jumping in 2 feet. No one's going to ever know why I was speaking French unless you listen to the news episode from Monday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I do have a pitch. Apparently, I'm going with working titles that are questions. This is a little unhinged. The notes are a little unhinged. You might need to help me refine. But it is called, the working title is called Have You Seen a Snail?
I like it already. This new game of the year.
This game takes place in a museum at night, kind of like Night at the Museum. It's a medieval museum.
As in it's medieval themed, or it's a museum in the medieval era?
It's a museum of medieval artifacts, yeah. So
okay, all right, yeah. Okay. So you're not like a knight looking at ancient Greek.
No.
Okay.
That would be cool, though. That would actually be really interesting.
That is a different idea.
That is a different idea.
We'll go for that.
So
later.
Either you are magic, or like there's some kind of accident. This is like the cutscene. You load up the game. Here's the cutscene.
Oh, the 75 minutes.
Yes, the 75-minute cutscene. So you like load it up, and you're like, you accidentally bring the creatures from the margins of the manuscripts to life, which is why it's called Have You Seen a Snail?
I love that.
And so you have all of these but they come to life looking like the manuscript drawing. So if someone hasn't been on the internet in the past 10 years, a very good meme or running joke is just showing pictures of like the wild ways that people in ancient times, medieval times, even the Renaissance, one could say, was how they drew animals and in the margins, because they look wild because it's like, they haven't often seen them in real life. Someone has described them to them, and then they just kind of draw what they think. And so it doesn't come out correct, and it's really funny and kind of scary in some senses. And so that's the idea, is that these like really weird, poorly drawn creatures are now just like roaming about, and you've got to collect them. So then the rest of this is kind of inspired by Pokemon. So it's like, it's going to be kind of a Pokemon style where you're going to like collect them, like trap them, but then like you can befriend them. And the idea is that you're trying to capture them before daytime so that like the museum isn't overrun. Although I did have another like branch that this could go, instead of, because I feel like that's a really fast game if you just have to like collect them all before daytime. That's more of a movie. It's not really a video game.
I mean, if you make it so that there's like, I'm gonna say 108, because 108 is like an important number in some cultures, but not in medieval Europe as far as I know. But like, if you make it so that there's like 108 of them, and like each one is its own challenge to capture, and you make it so that the goal is to capture all 108 of them, that could easily be like, let's say it takes between like 5 and 15 minutes on average
to
for
capture
like
each. Yeah, that makes sense.
And then maybe there's like an epic final battle or something that like once you've captured.
The boss is like one of those wild looking whales that's like...
Yeah. So like you could make this like a longer game with the idea that it has.
Okay. No, I like that.
For sure.
But yeah, the other branch was that they enter society so that they do get out, and now you have to like hunt them down that way. Or they just like enter society, and now society just has to deal with it. And I don't know.
The Jurassic World of
yeah. But yeah, I like your idea of kind of like keeping that, but just making it like each one is a quest of itself. No, I think that's cool. So that's the idea. I did kind of want them to battle, though. I thought that would be funny. So maybe it's kind of like in Pokemon, maybe you don't collect them necessarily, but you do get to have like one that's like your buddy.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that like the first one is a freebie. It's like a friendly one who also like is like, I
We have to
understand it's
help.
bad
Yeah. Yeah.
that all of us are out here. We need to go back to our own tapestry. It's weird and dangerous in the real world for us. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you wrangle all my buddies back into the manuscripts. But watch out for the big boss. He is evil and has wanted to escape for many, many years.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, anyway, that's the game, really. I guess that's it.
All right. Well, have you seen a snail? So obviously the partner is one of the snails, which what those are
Right.
like rabbits with turtle shells.
Sometimes they have human faces.
Ooh, I like that. So it's like a human face with rabbit ears inside
And
of a
like a
turtle shell.
pretty much.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. And yeah, in the YouTube video of
Uh-huh.
this, we need to like have
Insert.
insert like just manuscript monsters like floating around during this section.
Yeah, because, yep, I have plenty of time to do that.
Yeah, easy peasy, right? How much
Okay.
editing could it take to do that?
I mean,
10
okay,
minutes?
no, you know what? It probably wouldn't take too long. Just have them floating.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? If you're listening on regular listening podcast medium, you're going to have to check out YouTube to see if I did it. Did I have the energy, time, and desire to make this happen? Only time will tell. Okay. So, Isaac, that was my game. Do you have a game pitch for me?
Kangaroofers.
Oh my God. Sign me up. Take all my money.
That's all I really need to say, right? Everyone
Yeah.
understands immediately what that game is.
It's kangaroos repairing a roof. Yes?
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So, all right. Because this is like what we do on this show, I guess. And we're
You
6
kinda
minutes
have
in.
to.
I probably have to say a little bit more than that. All right. So you are a roofer who is also a kangaroo. So, you jump around a lot. You have a pretty big bounce. You can stand on your tail. All the kangaroo things. You have a tool pouch built into your body that you can put stuff in. So you have to bring equipment and supplies from the ground to the roof and then perform, roofing actions in the correct sequences. Like you gotta, I don't know, put tar on the roof and then put the tiles on the tar. So all right, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Normally what I do is I do the short blurb, then I describe the mechanics, and then I describe like some of the design process there, like why I'm making certain decisions. But I'm
Mhm.
just part of the design of this is I will not research the actual roofing process.
Good.
That is completely arbitrary to this game. I want
Yep.
even professional roofers to be
be like, what?
confused as to what they have to do with what
Good.
materials and in what order. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if hammers and nails get involved, but you will have to hammer and nail things in this. There will be copious amounts of tar, sticky tar, and yeah, maybe sometimes there's solar panels. I don't know. Is that actually part of do roofers do that, or is that a different company? The world will never know. So,
No.
all right. Heavy stuff. Obviously, you're carrying like big planks of wood and piles of tile and stuff, and that's going to change your jump height. So you might not be able to jump from the ground to the roof when you're carrying all the supplies that you need. So there's like a little mini game aspect where you can like move trash cans and like crates and stuff around to like make an area where you can like jump onto a crate and then jump onto the roof.
Mhm.
So, you have to figure out how to get to the roof with the supplies. And then once you get the supplies onto the roof, then you have to figure out where you need to like put the supplies
Mhm.
and what actions you need to do with those supplies. And um all of this is happening under a time limit. People want their roofs done and they want their roofs done quick. And maybe the time limit is even it's going to start raining, so you need to complete everything before the rain starts dropping. Otherwise, their house floods and they get mad, and you're a bad kangaroofer.
Oh.
But hopefully that won't happen. But okay, so that's the mechanics, that's the gameplay, that's what's going on in this game. I already went over some of the design, but one of the things to create interesting gameplay variation is that different buildings will have different like roof setups. A basic building might just have one, you know, it has like one story, one roof across the entire house. All you have to do is hop up there and then do whatever work needs to be done. Hop down, you're done for the day. But then you might have like a large Victorian house with like different what's it called when you've got like the window box that like sticks out from the roof a little bit and it's got its own little roof?
Oh, a dormer?
Yeah, it's got like different dormers and stuff, and you'll have to learn to navigate the roof. Maybe one house will have a ridiculously steep roof that
Ooh,
everything is sliding off of all the time, and
that's
you have to
good.
keep jumping back up to the top with and like keeping the equipment near the top. Um, some roofs might have multiple levels. So like once you get all the supplies from the ground to the first level, you do a bunch of work on that, but then you need to go up to the second level and you need to like solve another like positioning puzzle of okay, where do I put stuff to jump up to this next level, and there might be like more and more levels going up. Like an interesting level could be the Japanese style castles, which probably wouldn't ever have roofers work on these things, but like it has the different tiers. Or is it Japanese castle or pagoda, or is pagoda a Japanese castle? Like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I guess.
Okay, okay, yeah, well, we'll go with it. All right.
We'll go with it.
Okay, anyways, yeah, so that's Kangaroofers.
Nice. Yes. I like it. I don't know if I'd play it because, as we've talked about recently, I don't think I like kangaroos.
I've
Because when
made
I
the
see
perfect
them,
anti-game. The
they're
perfect
really
ultimate
creepy.
anti-game.
When I see videos, they're so creepy. And then in
They're
Animal
just
Crossing, they're
deer
so
with two
creepy.
legs.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying. Say it like that. No, no,
And deer themselves are just rats with hooves.
that's not true at all. That's not even close to the
um,
truth.
if I remember right, rabbits are more closely related to horses than like rats or squirrels or anything, even though they like look very similar.
I mean, I kind of get that with the teeth.
That's fair. They do have a very horse-like mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like kangaroos that much, but I like your game mechanics and I like the pun. So, I'm behind you on that.
Thank
I just
you.
don't know if
Thank
I'd
you.
play it, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome. I am glad to provide this service to the community. Somebody should get working on this game immediately. Not
Mm-hmm.
me, though. I don't
No.
do that.
Unless you do. So it's time for us. Isaac asked a question, but I know you don't have a question. So I was waiting
I
for you to ask if I had a question.
Hey Claire.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Claire,
Yeah,
do you perhaps have a question that you would like to ask the game design master, whomst is me,
I
on this day?
do.
Would you like to ask the master a little question?
I do.
The genius, the brain genius man.
I do have a question. The question is, what do you think is the best way that a game can quote unquote remind you about how far you've come or what your quest is without being annoying? So, like, for example, in our news show, we talked a little about how it's frustrating when we leave a game for a little while and we come back and we're like in the
Oh.
middle of it. And I think some games do this better than others where, like, okay, if I'm just kind of like here, how do I figure out what happened before and what I need to be doing? Is there a way? Is there not a way? What do you think? How should games kind of balance this situation? Do they have to?
So yeah, okay. This is a pretty interesting one. So I know in one of the previous Pokemon games, I don't remember exactly which one. I want to say it was Black and White generation. When you loaded a saved game, it would give you a couple like flashbacks, like basically a previously on, and it would say like the last couple things you did, and then kind of let you know. And with that, they set off towards the next gym or
Oh,
something.
uh-huh.
And that would kind of indicate to you.
I like that actually.
Yeah, I can't remember if that was skippable, but I personally would be extremely annoyed if I was forced to watch something like that every single time, because it didn't just happen when it was like, "Oh, I detected you haven't played in the last 6 weeks. Like maybe you need a refresher." It was like every single time, like if you paused for lunch, you saved your game, turned it off, ate lunch for 20 minutes and then came back to it, it would do that. And if you didn't need
Yeah.
the reminding and you couldn't skip it, absolutely not. So
I
that
could see that being really annoying if you didn't need it. It kind of like on Netflix, they can show you the recap, but if they know you're binging, they won't.
yes, yeah, yeah. And you can always skip it. Like if you are either don't care, like it's a show where the recap doesn't really matter that much, or you do remember where you left off. Yeah. So as long as the feature is cancelable, that's good. Other games, so like the Elder Scrolls series, generally has like a quest log or a journal where you can open it up and there's entries that kind of indicate um, the last things that you've been doing and usually give some kind of guideline of what you're currently doing. Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind had it where it was like literally just a journal, and every time you did something, it would update the entry in the journal. So you could get into a problem where you would start one quest and then do 16 other quests and add like 20 pages of journal entries and still be lost on where you are in a specific quest. Um, because so much time has passed in game. But the later Elder Scrolls games like Oblivion and Skyrim, they have each quest is its own entry and like has its own separate log that tells you, oh, I talked to Yorfnir and he told me that his brother went into the woods 3 weeks ago, and hasn't been found since. And then you go into the woods and it's like, in the woods I found Yorfnir's brother's shoe covered in spider webs, and footprints heading north or something like that. And like that way you can keep track of. So that's another technique. It's entirely in game. Nothing happens like when you first load it up. You still have to seek out the information like through menus and stuff.
Mhm.
So that's cool. Um, Link's Awakening has the Olrira system where there's phone booths that like give you
Yeah,
hints.
yeah, but that's different, I think. I mean, I guess it could help if like I hadn't played for a while and I couldn't even remember what I was working on, like that would help. Um, but I don't know if that's enough.
That's yes, because to some extent, are you asking purely like story narrative
Well, it's both
wise?
is the
It's
issue.
both.
Okay? So
Okay.
like I mean, honestly, I think the story is honestly the biggest part because I could forget that, but I also always want a refresher on the controls too. Like Ori was really hard. I mean, I know they show you like what does what, but it's still like your hands haven't. It's almost like I need a warm up room because you get used to the
Yep.
like the muscle memory of like playing a game, and if you haven't played in a long time, especially as someone who like I'm like fairly new to using controllers for games, not anymore as much, but um yeah, I mean most of the games I played with controllers were on the Wii and I would use the controller in like a motion sensitive sense, not like a controller sense. So it's still tough for me. And yeah, I just like to like I almost want like a warm up. Like can I just like warm up, remember like what I can do, like what my battle actions are, what my other actions are, and then also like a story refresh of like where did you come from? Why am I standing in this particular location? And then also like what is my next step? Because sometimes I don't know. I don't remember.
So Sonic Frontiers, every loading screen puts you into a training mode,
Oh, I kind of like
which
that.
yeah, and it seems to like randomly rotate like training elements, and like one will be like, oh, here's how to like ground pound. So it'll say jump and then press A while jumping and your character slams down. So you perform that action and then it like loads another training exercise. And while the game is like loading the actual level or area you're trying to go to, you can play that and then you choose when you end training. So uh when I was playing it, I didn't realize that it was actually a loading screen, and
Hmm.
I thought that I had like entered the training mode and I was waiting for it to finish. I
Uh-huh.
didn't realize down in the bottom corner it was like, hey, you can play the level that you tried to load now. And I did it for like literally 10 minutes
Oh
and things started
no.
repeating and I was
You're
like,
like,
what? Is
I'm
this infinite?
done
Like,
now.
what's going on here? Um, but I did eventually figure it out and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's nice. So
I
yeah,
like
you
that
always
because it
have the
gives you,
refresher.
yeah, it gives you also something to do while games load. So it's not,
Exactly.
that's
Which
pretty nice.
yeah, that is a cool feature. Um, for sure. Yeah, more games need to implement that.
Yeah, because I don't
Speak.
like the tips, right? Like that, like during the loading screen when it's like, did you know if you hold down this, you
Oh,
you run?
I was about to say that those are another feature that kind of does this. A
Okay,
lot
I'll
of games
say
will have loading screen tips, which will
okay.
refresh you on mechanics and sometimes refresh you on story and
I've never
objectives.
seen them do that, story or objectives, but I have seen them do mechanics quite a bit. Now, I will say that like yes, it does refresh you. Usually it's only annoying because it's not going to give you everything. So like
Yeah.
one, if you really forgot how to play this game, it's not going to help because it'll tell you like 1 to 2 mechanics.
Yeah.
And then also, if you didn't forget how to play this game, it's like, thank you. I do know how to dash. You can excuse
Yes.
yourself. But if it's just playing, like if it's physically moving the character, I feel like that's so much better because, I mean, who doesn't want to just dick around like throwing fireballs for like a loading screen?
Donkey Kong for the Game Boy did have that. You
I'm
could
sitting like
go
this.
into a special training mode on the start screen and you could just kind of run and jump around and practice the
Yeah.
movement in that game. Monster Hunter has training arenas which you can use to either learn new weapons because each weapon in that game has like a unique move set. You can use it to practice like combos
Well,
with weapons.
and I will say, I think it's easier to do this, what we're talking about, in a game that has like that open world and that has spaces. So, like, because if I, so say I
Yes.
like paused Link's Awakening forever, like I could just go, like, I could just go anywhere and practice using my sword, you know, like
Yeah.
whatever. But like, there's other, like,
Oxenfree?
Oxenfree. Yeah. So, Oxenfree would be one where there's nothing you can really do to like try. Actually, that one would be so helpful if there was some kind of record keeping because you have to play the game over and over again. And I always forget
Hmm.
what choices I made before because once I finish one round, I'm kind of like, okay, like I don't want to play it right away again because I
Yep.
just did it. But then the idea is that I'm supposed to make different choices so that I can eventually escape the island. And like, but I forget what I did last time. So I'm like, I could be making the exact same game again. I don't know. So it's really tough. So that one would be amazing if they had some kind of like notebook or journal that was automatically entering like what choices I made each
I
time I
told
played.
Jack off at the docks and he's
Right.
angry at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and then I could just flip through like every time I played and it would tell me what I did. That would be amazing. So take note, Oxenfree. They are coming out with the second one, so or it's already
Oh,
out.
maybe they have implemented that. Wait, is it out? That could be gaming news. We would have to go
That
back and
could be news we forgot. I don't know. I feel like
would
it.
have to re-record the whole
No,
episode.
no. Sometimes you get a little news in a regular episode as a treat.
Release date 2023. Don't you worry just yet.
Okay, okay, all right. So it's not. That's like almost a year away. Okay. So maybe they have like updated that and fixed that, but that was one of the biggest issues because again, when I replay a game, I don't necessarily want to replay it right away, even if it's going to be a different outcome, and then I forget. But with like Link's Awakening, even Ori was tough because Ori is such a dangerous world that it's hard to get to the calm places to like practice, but you still
Oh
can.
yeah. And there's no training mode, like there's no pause screen like training or
No, and I wish there was because so Ori actually has a long load time. So
oh.
it would actually be perfect if they had that.
Yeah, no, it seems like now that Sonic Frontiers doesn't done it has done it, and yeah, I feel like other games have done it before, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. But now that it's done it, it just seems like every game should do this from now on.
Yeah.
If
I
you've got
think
loading screens,
I think we solved it.
make
I
them
think the
training.
answer is some type of journal for a story
Yep,
because the actual replay might be super annoying, but at least the journal you can choose to read it or not.
right.
and then and then a loading screen with gameplay for action practice.
Boom.
I think we did it. We
Nailed it.
actually
Claire
answered the
asked a
question.
question. We
Yeah.
actually answered the question. Game designers, game developers, take note. That's
write
how
it
you
down.
do it. We found it. It's perfect. You cannot top it. You can send the royalty check in the mail
Yes, we would love
for
that.
it. And if you implement it, what we just talked about, without doing that, well, that's kind of messed up, don't you think?
Yeah, and if you disagree with us, or if you have anything you want to add to the perfect way to remind yourself of a game, please feel free to leave a comment on our YouTube or send us an email at makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com.
And yell at us on Twitter while it burns to the ground.
Yes, well, we still have Twitter. Please enjoy that as much as possible. The twilight years of Twitter. Years, weeks, months, who knows?
The twilight days.
Yeah, seriously.
Twilight hours, maybe. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. How could we know? All right, well, now that we've asked questions and pitched games, it is time for the last and perhaps greatest session of our session? The greatest part of our podcast. It is the rapid fire round where we generate 3 random words. Isaac will time us for 5 minutes. We have 5 minutes to create a game idea based on those 3 words. We can stretch the definitions, but we have to use all 3, and we also have to come up with a name for that game. Isaac, are you ready with the timer?
I am. I'm ready
Amazing.
Whenever you are to press this button.
Yeah. All right. Tell me when.
Oh. All right. Ready, set, start.
Performer. Shrink. Athlete.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You are a professional athlete who has been shrunk, and now you have to go through the micro world to get eventually to the wizard who has shrunk you down. Because you are such an athlete, though, you have amplification of all your powers, so you are really extremely super strong and also really extremely super jumpy
and fast,
like a grasshopper, etc. You can survive long falls, so you're basically just it's like a superhuman platformer game.
Yep. No, I mean that makes sense. I feel like this has to be basketball for some reason. Like you're a basketball player.
Okay. Oh, and then you could collect basketballs and shoot hoops during levels to get
I mean, I don't know how you shoot hoops if you're little, but
no, but there's tiny basketball sized objects.
Right. Oh,
basketball
and then you could
shaped.
so you could shoot a ping pong ball into a Dixie cup or something goofy like that, like a
and
marble into a
So a lot of classic platformers for the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, you would collect letters throughout the level, and if you collected the word that the letter spelled, you would get a bonus level at the end. And the goal was just to play all the bonus levels. So this version is if you get all the hoops in a level, you get to play the bonus level.
I like that. I'm good with this.
And you eventually, beat the game. And so this is like a classic retro style platformer where you are effectively a superhuman yet tiny athlete, specifically a basketballer, and your goal is to defeat the evil wizard who shrunk you and get back so that you can win the end of the game. You grow back into proper size,
and then you have to play a game of basketball
court. Exactly.
Yes.
With all the skills that you've learned as a tiny person.
Yes, that's it. That's the game.
What's the name of this game?
Tiny Hoops.
Tiny Hoops. All right, that's time with 2 minutes and 38 seconds left.
Woohoo!
Tiny Hoops.
Tiny Hoops. I will say, when I saw the word shrink, I thought we were gonna go to you're a basketball therapist.
We've already done that one basically 3 times.
No, once, and it wasn't a therapist. It was a social media manager. Okay.
Okay. What's the difference?
Wow. Are you ready for our next 3 words?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Tell me when.
Oh, ready, set, start.
Okay. Excavation.
Union. Okay, we like this.
Think
excavation union.
So I will say that union makes me think of Union Station, like train stations. So maybe you're excavating a train station. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, so mini metro, but a little more involved.
Maybe. Well, I'm wondering. Yeah, you're like, why are you excavating? It's like, well, and what are you looking
Because you
for?
actually have to dig out the trails, and you have to think about how that interacts with like electrical
Uh,
systems, plumbing systems, and other train systems.
I was thinking you had to like find you're gonna like find stuff.
Okay.
What was your idea?
I mini metro, but a little bit more involved in the actual, like, you're
No,
not
I
just
thought you
drawing
had
a
an idea
line.
before I said trains. No.
Oh, before you said trains, I was just thinking you were a union archaeologist who uh was trying to put a stop to Jurassic Park
Okay.
because of
So you're an
union.
archaeologist. Okay, okay, maybe we can because I like the idea that you're an archaeologist in a union.
Yeah, you're unionized, and
But
Jurassic Park or some similar park is like doing shady stuff that would harm archaeologists overall. So you're like on a mission and you get trapped effectively in Jurassic Park.
see, I was thinking I was moving away from the train part because thinking about actually like planning a dig of a train made me tired just thinking about it. And I didn't want to play that game at all. And so that's why I moved away. Like I was like, I can't even conceptual like I don't want to do that.
Fair.
No. So I like that
Nailed
you're
it.
in a union. I like this. I like this pro
Yeah.
union game. We're a pro union podcast, so
Yeah, exactly. Scabs go home.
let's go home. Yep, there you go. We said it here, folks.
And that's the name of the game.
Scabs go home. Time, I guess.
No,
No.
there's got to be. Let's see.
Unionsaurus. No.
If you're on like Spotify, that silence was just me staring into the camera with a very stern face, uh, theoretically directed at Claire for what
Oh,
she
probably
just said.
could. Whew.
Oh, big yawn! Wow. All right. Yeah. So apparently this game bores you, even though it's not about digging
I
trains.
probably
Okay.
will cut the silence, is what I was gonna say. Like you're not just gonna
Aw.
listen to 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, but anyway. Oh no, I can't because we're timing it. Okay, well
Yeah,
we'll
we're timing
enjoy.
it. So, it's a bit. It's a bit.
It's a bit.
And we riffed off of it. So, all right. Well, but we do only have a little less than 2 minutes left to come up with a name. I don't know. I feel like we've got well, we didn't say anything about the mechanics. We just said the story. Mechanics. It's a third person, over the shoulder kind of. It's not necessarily a shooter because as a union worker, you didn't go there to shoot people up. You kind of
Right.
went there to just investigate. But then things get chaotic, and like,
I mean,
yes, you
I
can
do
pick up like
think
tranquilizer darts and
yeah,
stuff
because you're gonna
to
have to
defend
protect
yourself
yourself from
against
dinosaurs,
dinosaurs.
right? But
Yeah.
I think you are gonna. I want there to be some kind of like think quest. Like you're still like discovering things, collecting fossils, and like scientific evidence of stuff too. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why you're
So
still
it's
there for the union.
investigation.
For
Yeah.
the
So you
union,
do have to
it's
still,
evidence.
while you escape, you have to collect enough evidence. And I'm gonna say, because you are severely under-equipped against very dangerous opponents, there is a lot of thinking as you strategize. How am I gonna get like from this end of this open area to this other end when there's velociraptors all around me? How am I gonna navigate their terrain?
All right, can we call it like I'm looking at the eras like Mesozoic? You said
I mean, we could just called Mesozoic
I don't
and
know.
or
I don't know what
Mesozoic
happens
Park.
there.
Yeah, well, is it allowed for us to just say fill in the blank? It's
No, it's
just
not. We
okay.
have to name
Dang
it.
it. Okay.
Well, how much time do we have left?
We have 10 seconds left.
Oh God. Okay. Mesozoic. Let's just call it Mesozoic Union.
Mesozoic Union. All right, time with 5 seconds left on the clock.
Hopefully, the Mesozoic had dinosaurs, and that's fine.
Let me what okay, it did. It did. It was the age of reptiles and conifers.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Conifers. So also
It's
Christmas
the most
trees.
recent era, I guess.
No.
Besides the current era.
Oh. Okay. Maybe that. I was like, we're not living in the Mesozoic. Goofy. Okay, are you ready for our
Oh,
final?
the Mesozoic includes Jurassic, Cretaceous, and Triassic.
Oh.
Okay.
So we just
Those are
have our park is a wider.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all dinosaurs, not just from the Jurassic era, which I think that Jurassic Park already has that concept. Jurassic just sounds
cool.
better than Mesozoic, I guess.
Yeah. Are you ready for our final 3 words?
Yes.
Okay, here they are. All right, tell me when.
Ready, steady, start.
Pat, like PAT, like pat a cat.
Okay.
Pat.
Pet pat.
Glide,
What?
glide.
Oh.
Yep. And paragraph. Mm-hmm.
You ruined it with that last one.
Paragraph.
Random word generator.
Pat, glide, paragraph. I mean, pens glide when you write. I don't know if that's anything at all.
Do you have to pat wet ink with anything?
Yeah, remember we talked about that once.
Okay, so this is just how do you make a game
I
about
don't
writing?
know. I don't
How do
know.
you make a game about writing? Okay.
Okay.
So here's my thought, and
Okay.
this might be a little wild. Do you want to say your thought first? Did you come up with anything?
My thought was that it's like the pen is mightier than the sword, and so like it's like a battle game, but your sword is a pen, and you have to like collect ink to fill it, and you have to like slash people with the ink and stuff. That was my
Okay.
idea.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah. That's basically Splatoon
I
in
don't
a
know
way.
that game,
That's
but
it's a Switch game, but okay, so my idea was it's I haven't come up with like a specific like story era or anything, but like the meta setup of the game is that you are an author writing a book, but the gameplay is you are basically playing out the book. So each level is like a chapter of the book, and you performing actions within the gameplay affect like what the author decides to actually write.
I think this is better, but also more complicated than my idea.
Yeah, well, yeah, but we basically just make it like a fantasy RPG like Skyrim or something. So like a
Yeah.
first person, third person, uh, action kind of game, maybe
It sounds
with.
a lot like Life is Strange, though, a little bit, because like everything we do impacts like how the story plays out.
I'm not
Isn't
even
it just a
thinking like
game?
that much. I'm thinking like when the chapter is like, and then Roderick the Brave fought off the bandits. Um, like there won't necessarily be it won't be like a narrative kind of driven game. You'll like play out the scenario, but there might be like certain branches like the bandit leader might be like spare me, and then
It's a
that.
book, but it's not narrative. I don't know if that works. Also, I think that's just a game. Like, I think games are so
Yeah.
close to novels that it's not. No, we have to do better than that.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, we're using the words as like the window dressing, which we've done before. That's a valid way
I
of doing
guess
rapid
no,
fire
but it's
rounds.
not really a window dressing. It's just a game. Like, I don't understand how you weave the book into it in a natural feeling way. To be honest, like
No,
it feels
that's just
very
the setup
shoehorned.
for each level, and then at the end of the level, so like it gives you the chapter name, it gives you like the first couple lines of the chapter, and then you play the level, and then at the end, like it basically records what you just did with a narration to like give you like the you won the level over, and then whatever choices you did make in there get transcribed into like the book, and then it continues, it loads the next chapter, which is another level in the game.
Okay, all
Not
right,
feeling it? I mean,
it's fine.
how about also in that you have a sword that is a pen that you fill with ink, and boom, we've just combined
All
both
right, all
ideas.
right, all right. It's good. Okay, we call it we name it
Yes, we do.
Book of the Night.
Okay, I'll take it. 40 seconds, that's time. 40 seconds left on the clock. Book of the night.
Book of the night.
A game where you are a character in a book in a game.
Yep.
With potentially an ink-filled pen sword.
It's a good game, and it's the best one, actually. So
yeah, so on shelves 2027.
Perfect.
We don't do that
here. No, we're not going to do that.
We don't do that here.
Well, that is the end of our show. If you want to interact with us on social media, you can find us on Twitter, as long as it's still here, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Make That Game Pod. You can follow us on YouTube. You can subscribe there. We have our handle is at Make That Game. You can find us at youtube.com/@, which is the @ symbol, Make That Game. We also have a new YouTube channel for vlogging. So hopefully to put out some cool new vlogs in the future. They will not be as consistent as our podcast episodes, but do keep an eye on that channel. We have it linked in our YouTube channel, so you can check it out. And you can always send us an email, makethatgamepodcast@gmail.com, with game ideas, honks and bunks that you might have, or words you want us to turn into a game idea, anything like that. We would love to hear from you, our listeners. And with that, if you heard a game today that you think should really, really exist in this world, we encourage you to get out there and make that
game.